My general thoughts on Hulk versus Superman. Battle conditions for these scenarios: Earth under a yellow sun. This will not be my only video of this topic, and more are sure to come in the future. As you may notice, this video isn't going to be super analytic or feat heavy. Before I get the video started, I want to say the following are not wins to be considered: putting somebody in environments and leaving them there so they can't fight you no more, aka battlefield removal, not a win. Using the environment to get a win on them, like taking somebody to space, not a win. I'm a fan of real wins, not sort of, kind of, should have, would have type wins. Wins that are not refutable is what I go for, such as knocking or killing someone. But with all that being said, let me just start off by saying I don't mind anyone picking who they think will win the battle, because we all know this is fiction and there's no way to 100% prove either will win. But we can have educated guesses and guesses based on information that we get from both people or both characters. My problem comes in when people think it's rape either side. Post-Crisis Superman, which is probably the most famous version of Superman, versus standard Savage Hulk, which is probably the most normal state of Hulk we see the most. If they were to fight each other, the fights are always going to be good under normal circumstances. If you think otherwise, you're a fanboy in my opinion, from one direction to the other. Superman does not rape Savage Hulk in his normal state, and Savage Hulk does not rape Superman in his normal state. Let me just set up some general ground rules for all you that like to jump to the highest possible forms. Superman Prime 1 million is not a form that can be achieved naturally or and on the spot, so therefore should not be used for Superman in battles under normal conditions that Superman is involved in. Same with pre-crisis Superman, aka the Superman that sneezed the solar system way, who has been retconned since then. So do me a favor and please don't bring up these type of feats up from the 1930s that have obviously been retconned and obviously don't exist to Superman anymore. I will not be using Rebirth Superman because his feats seem very low ever since Rebirth and shouldn't even be worth comparing to Savage Hulk at the moment. When I say feats, I mean inanimate object feats, such as busting planets, pulling stars and mountains and things of that sort. We have not seen Rebirth accomplish this level of feats like his post-crisis self. I'm going to lay out a few scenarios and who I think wins in each scenario. Alright, first scenario. Post-crisis Superman versus a calm, savage Hulk. And the reasoning for the fight of them fighting each other, basically, I don't know, maybe thinking each other as a villain. Alright, so I'm just going to straight up say it right up front. Superman wins this about 99% of the time because Hulk is known for his strength increase factor, and when he fights he rarely ever is calm. So with that being said, his stress can increase astronomically from calm to slightly angered. So therefore I would think Savage Hulk would need some anger to be able to match Superman's base strength at the very least. So he's not beating him while Hulk's happy and smiling and things that sort, yada yada yada. Please keep in mind that my definition of beating is either knocking somebody out or knocking out somebody clean or killing them. The next scenario of this battle I would like to go over is post-crisis Superman versus Savage Hulk, normally enraged, with both thinking they are both villains. This is probably the scenario that is the most famous and will probably be more than likely what will happen if they ever did meet. This is probably the scenario I would say could go 50-50. Both of their feats are very similar, which I'm not going to go over in this video. I say it like this: if the fight goes on for 5 minutes, this may not sound like a long time, but 5 minutes is a longer fight than you think when it comes to beings on this level and speed. But like I was saying, if the fight was to happen like this, then I can see Superman winning the fight in a war. However, I'm going to go out on a limb and say if the fight lasted for about 10 minutes or 15 minutes or more, I feel like the Hulk's strength would keep rising as the battle goes on, and the Hulk would eventually get the advantage and win this battle in a war also. Please keep in mind that not only his strength goes up with his anger, but his healing factor, his combat speed, and reaction time, and everything along with it, which is why I think he could eventually take it in this scenario. Yes, it is true that Superman does get stronger the longer he stays on Earth, but the rate of him getting stronger on the spot isn't the same as the Hulk's in this scenario. Due to the fact that the Hulk's literal power is the matter he gets, the stronger he gets. Also keep in mind that Savage Hulk gets pretty annoyed about pretty much anything. Next scenario I'm going to have is Grey Hulk fighting Superman. And in this scenario, even if he's really angry, I still see Superman taking this particular scenario, because by the time Grey Hulk usually builds up any type of anger, he usually just goes into Green Hulk state, like the fight he did against Ms. Marvel. Anyway, I've never really seen Grey Hulk have ridiculous level feats, although he does have easily planet busting level strength, obviously. And then there's that one time he fought Wonder Man, who's basically Gladiator level and, Thor level, basically. The next scenario I'm going to go over is Professor Hulk versus Superman. In this scenario, I do feel like Superman is going to win this one in a very tough fight, aka a war, only because of a few things. It is confirmed that Professor Hulk does have a stronger calm level strength than Savage Hulk, but at the same time his strength increase factor suffers, and when he gets to a certain level of anger, he automatically reverts back to Banner. Other than the few scenarios I can think of that this didn't apply, I'm going to have to say this still applies in this scenario. The next scenario, I'm going to change the environment with both thinking they are villains. With both just thinking they are villains, there's a good chance that just because they both think they're villains does not mean they're absolutely going to go for the kill for one another, like the ones in the other scenarios I said already in this video. With that being said, Superman's strength increase factor would be pretty crazy under a blue sun, and with the Hulk lacking reasoning to have a anger issue to be able to get a strength increase factor could be a problem here, because just because the Hulk's strength can increase with anger does not mean every circumstance he's going to be in will push him to ridiculous levels of anger, like in certain circumstances. This scenario does not favor him when it comes to just thinking he's a villain to being enough to take on a being like this, in my opinion. Alright, now time to switch back the gears. With a yellow sun again and on Earth, but we're about to up the stakes. Both characters are bloodlusted and pretty much out of character depending on which one you're talking about. Superman just witnessed Hulk ripping Lois in half, and the Hulk just witnessed Superman ripping Betty's head off. My answer to this will step on some toes, but there is really no way I can see Superman winning this scenario. I do understand that pretty much any character in fiction gets an adrenaline boost when they're bloodlusted or their blood pressure rises. This is only natural because us humans get this same type of power up as well. But there's a difference between a natural strength power up from anger, but then there's a character that is all about getting angrier, and the stronger he gets. That's literally his superpower. His superpower is literally the madder I get, the stronger I get. I don't see how a being that has super strength but doesn't have the power to get stronger with anger can beat somebody bloodlusted that has this ability on top of super strength with similar feats. I'm going to mention this one more time for those that probably wasn't paying attention in the beginning of my video. When I say win, I'm talking about a KO or kill. You're probably wondering how. How would normal Hulk be able to beat a normal Superman? Bro, this Hulk would jump straight into a world breaker Hulk state if he's seen Betty's head get ripped off. Superman will get a power up as well, but do you honestly think his power will be significant as the Hulk's when that's literally his thing? Well, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed my video, but that's pretty much a wrap for the day. I'm going to do more videos like this in the future, discussing this topic with more feats and analytics. This is just my general thoughts for right now, though. And yeah, I know I am well aware that there are zillions of more scenarios I could have used in this video, but I feel like I could have gone on forever, so I stopped here before the video got too long. But with all that further ado, I'm glad you guys watched all the way this far, and I will see you guys soon.